Hey, you
Hello,
guys.
hello, hello.
You guys, today we're going to be talking about 4 steps to help every entrepreneur stay calm in these crazy and chaotic times, and also how you can maximize your productivity instead.
Absolutely. You guys, if we haven't met before, my name is Tim Graff,
I'm Becky Graff.
and we help home business entrepreneurs leverage powerful online strategies to create that perfect lifestyle business.
Yes, and you guys, there's been a lot of craziness happening lately.
Yep.
Okay.
Can you guys agree?
Can you agree? Let us
There's
know.
been a little
Okay.
crazy going on.
Okay, and I'm curious how many of you are finding yourself in kind of an overwhelmed or feeling a little bit fish out of water.
Yeah.
Okay, because your routine has changed a little bit. So we've been feeling that way too. We have, with the things that are happening in our world right now, the different changes that are happening. And then to top it all off, yesterday, guys, we were hit for the first time in, I believe, 10 years.
It's been a while, yeah.
With an earthquake.
No, it's been more than 10 years. The last one was in 92. So
okay,
you guys do the math. It's been a little while.
Since we've had one that's been above like a 5, okay?
Yeah.
So we were actually woken up at just after 7 a.m. yesterday by an earthquake, okay?
Yep.
And so really, it kind of, when things happen like this, when you're hit with things that are not your normal, okay? And this can be not normal from normal events in your community. This can also be maybe you're taking a step out of your normal comfort zone, doing something different. Okay, when things happen in life, because it's not just this global pandemic, okay, it's not just the earthquake. There's things that happen in our own personal lives that can kind of throw us off a little bit. Okay, yeah. That it kind of throws us into the, okay, now what? I've never been here before, or this was not what I had planned. So how do I handle this? How do I handle the stress that's coming with it? How do I stay calm and still get my business to move regardless of what is going on around me? Okay.
I'm also curious how many of you out there kind of like that little bit of a shift? How many of you like that little bit of outside of the normal happening in your life? Because you guys all admit, you might think I'm a little crazy, but I kind of like the little bit of change, kind of mix things up of the normal. We get stuck in this normalcy. And as entrepreneurs, a lot of times it's about being able to adapt to things that happen, things that come our way. And so I like actually that little bit of when things get shaken up, if you will, to use a little bit of humor from what happened yesterday. When things get a little shooken up, it actually makes me a bit excited. I like that little bit of a change. So if you're one of those kind of people that are out there that like that little bit of when things get shaken up, let me know in the comments. Drop me a 1 if you guys, if that kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat, so to speak, and you like that little bit of, maybe you're that thrill seeker out there. But it does kind of change the way that we're thinking on a day-to-day basis. And so we wanted to share those 4 steps of how the best way to deal with it, really.
Yeah, because again, what Tim's talking about is maybe you're one of those people who's been kind of like on the edge of your seat, knowing some things needed to give, things needed to shift a little bit, and it finally takes something. And I'm not saying the global pandemic that's taking for the shift to happen for you, okay? But maybe something on a smaller scale. Yeah. You're pushed out of your comfort zone. Okay, maybe
you just need that little extra something. Okay, and like Becky said, and thank you for clarifying that. I'm not necessarily talking about like we need this crazy like zombie apocalypse to make things change, right? But we need something to kind of give us that little bit of a wake us up out of our normal day-to-day routine that really kind of gives us that extra push into making a change or making a difference.
Yeah, and a lot of these things can come in different forms, okay? But for most people, especially most people who are in transition from maybe a normal 9-to-5 into entrepreneurship, and I know that this happens for a lot of our students, is it can be kind of overwhelming. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of scared, what's going to happen, looking for, I want to know if A plus B is going to equal C and when, right? Because that is the expectation from a typical 9-to-5, right? You go to work, you clock in, you do your job, you go home. So a lot of this uncertainty comes from the lack of ability of people how to use the skill sets, tools, and resources available to them to really find a process that works to be able to be fluid in adapting to change, okay? Because with growth, there's always change, okay? To be growing, you must be changing, you must be evolving, you must be pivoting, okay? So the 4 steps that we wanted to share tonight to help every entrepreneur stay calm in these chaotic times, okay? Because we recognize that this is different than what most people have experienced, especially here in the United States. Okay. This is a different realm of thing. This is definitely what's happening right now is definitely bigger than just, being asked to speak on stage when you never have before, taking that leap out of your comfort zone to grow. Okay. There's some legitimate things that are happening right now, even for entrepreneurs, that are causing a slowdown for some people in their business because they are not calm. Okay. They're focused in on all of the things that they need to do to take care of their family. Okay. So the things that we wanted to share with you tonight are 4 specific steps that we actually went through. We've been through during this whole process, especially yesterday with the earthquake on top of what's going on with with the coronavirus. And so number 1, you guys, is to bring yourself to a state of calm. Now, if you're out there listening, you're like, well, how can I be calm when things around me are going crazy? Okay, consider this. And I had this conversation with my 7-year-old last night, okay, because she was not calm about going to bed. She was very concerned about falling asleep and having another earthquake hit because she was so scared of the shaking. Okay. And so we had to work with this a little bit. Okay. How can you bring yourself to a place where you feel calm inside? Okay. So we talked about what are the things that you have control over? Okay. Do you have control over if an earthquake happens? Do you have control over, different things? And so by talking through the things that she truly had control over, she was able to bring herself into a place of, okay, things are happening. There's potentials for a lot of things, but right now, what I can control is how I choose to think right now as I'm laying in my bed. Okay. So for you, how might you bring yourself to a state of calm? Okay, I would like you to think about that for a second. How might you right now in this moment bring yourself to a state of calm? Okay.
The important thing to remember with this is the only thing that we can control is ourselves and how we act and react to certain situations. Okay. So it's really important to, to think to yourself, what are those kinds of things that really bring you to that calm, centered self? Maybe for a lot of people, there's meditation. Okay, a lot of people do some meditation, breathing exercises, yoga. For us has been a huge help. Okay, yoga, breathing, kind of all the same thing. But a lot of times, if you just kind of take that step back, take a moment to really center yourself and to really concentrate on your breath, take that meditation moment. It really helps bring you in back to the present moment. And realizing that the only thing that you can control in the world and things going on around us is ourselves and how we react to that. And a lot of times that is, like we said, number 1 of this is that first step.
Yes, to bring yourself to a state of calm. Number 2, you guys, and this one is for some people is where overwhelm sets in. Okay. Number 2 is to ask for clear and concise help. Now, there's a 2-part to this. Okay. If you are not aware of the resources that you have, is it going to be easy for you to ask for clear and concise help? So it's kind of a 2-step. Number 1 is you need to ask for help, clear and concisely. But before you can do that, take a list, put it in your phone. Okay. Write it down on a piece of paper. What resources do you have available to you? Okay. This could be business resources. This could be things in your family that you're concerned about right now. Okay. That's causing this overwhelm, this stress. What resources do you have available to you? And then identify which ones of these might I use and how can I ask for the very specific type of help that I want? Okay. If you're an entrepreneur, do you have a business coach? Do you have a mentor? Do you have some sort of accountability partner within your upline or in your teams that you could reach out to and just say, hey, I'm really struggling right now. Is there any way we could hop on a Zoom and have a conversation to kind of let me vent a couple of things out, or so that we could maybe brainstorm about a solution?
Yeah, so it's really about identifying what resources you have and who specifically those people are that you can reach out to that are going to be bringing you to that, like step 1, that state of calm. They're going to help you walk through that process, right? You don't want to call if you got a crazy Uncle Joe or something like that. And, calling him is not going to be effective at helping you work through the situation. So it's really about identifying who you have and the resources you have to be able to reach out to.
Again, because this is about getting you productive. This is getting you movement in your business. This is about you being able to balance what you may be feeling with actions that are going to get you movement in your business. Okay. So that's specifically what we're talking about today.
And number 3, you guys, is separating yourself from the stress at work, from the stress around you, what's going on in the world. It's really taking that step back and separating yourself from the things going on around you.
And to that point too, it's the added layer of separating the task that you're doing from the state of stress that you may be feeling about the situation. Okay. So an easy example, you guys, is when with all of this that's happening, okay, there's a lot of people who are working from home, okay, more so than usual. And if you've got children at home, it can be added stress. Like, I'm attempting to do my normal tasks, but my kids are now not at school. They don't have the playground schedule, right? They're not in their normal routine. So there's a lot of balancing act happening here. Okay. But separating the stress of, I need to feed my kids and I need to do the laundry and I need to do some shopping and the stores are bare. Okay. You get where I'm going with this. It's easy to get out of control and stressed out.
And you start to spiral.
Okay. But backing it down to, okay, what are the 3 top things that I need to get done today? Okay. Communicating that with those that are in your household, and then separating the stress of all this worry has absolutely nothing to do with writing a Facebook Live. Okay. Or putting my thoughts together for an email, or even putting, a couple links together for a landing page or a funnel. There's a separation that happens when you're focused on a very specific task instead of thinking about and allowing your mind to go very general about all the what ifs. Okay. So number 3, is to separate yourself and your task specifically that you're doing from the stress and the chaos that might be happening. Communicate with other people in your home what those expectations are. For me today, you guys, it was, I need 20 minutes where you guys, my girls, okay, you need to not ask me a question. Please don't ask me a question for 20 minutes. This is mommy's time. I need to do this very specific thing. And then we will have our time as a family. Okay. It's giving expectation to my girls that I hear you, right? It's time for us to be together again. However, we're working together with our schedules.
Setting those boundaries.
Setting the boundaries because things are a little bit differently. And it allows me, by doing so, to separate the stress of, I got to get dinner on the table. The kids are tired. They're hungry. They want to go play. And this task that I needed to get done because it was is one of the main blocks for my business today. Okay. So that was me separating the stress of the task from the stress of what might be happening in my home or things that are going on around me. Does that make sense? If this is making sense to you guys, let me know in the comments. We want to make sure this is something that you're tracking. It's very, very important to ask yourselves these 4 things and to take a look at it. In fact, we're going to drop a link in the comments for a blog that a mentor of ours actually wrote around this very specific thing. It was a very great read, helped remind us of a lot of things that we had already known, but especially at this time right now when things are a little bit out of whack and a little bit off kilter more than normal. It was definitely a great read to be able to reiterate what these things that we can be doing so that we don't have our businesses grind to a halt. Okay. Hey, awesome, Sue. Thanks for hopping on.
Sue.
Glad to have you on. Thank you for your participation. Okay. So number 4, you guys, is to believe that you can succeed. Okay. You guys, what we believe shows up in the way that we behave. So if we're behaving in a way where we're not following through with our commitments, we're not taking the time to reach out and identify what resources that we have, if we're constantly allowing ourselves to slide into the stress and the overwhelm, what does that say about the belief that we have about what we're creating, what we're doing?
And this is about it comes back to, this is a whole mindset piece. It's about having that mindset of abundance. Okay. And not getting into that scarcity mindset. It's really easy for us, especially as emotional creatures, to go into that scarcity mindset. The world's falling apart around us. Things are going on. There's a lot going on in the news. Okay. There's chaos at home. Maybe you got kids running around. Okay. There's lots of stuff going on. And so it's easy to get just kind of sucked into the chaos and into that scarcity of, oh my gosh, everything's falling apart around me. And then we tend to spiral into that emotional state. It's very important to just take that moment, like step 1, to take that state of calm. Okay. Think about, who are those people that I can reach out to if I need to?
What resources
do I have? Okay. Kind of separate the task that you're currently working on. Separate yourself if need be. Take a moment, step outside, go for a walk, whatever it needs to be. Separate yourself from whatever chaos is going on. Okay. And then really just having that mindset of, we will get through this. This is going to work. Having that self-confidence. Okay, really having that abundance mindset. You guys, there is so much going on in the world that is positive, and a lot of positive will come out of certain situations that are going on right now.
Specifically this one, you guys, this is an amazing opportunity for entrepreneurs as a whole to innovate. Okay, think back over history. When things got rough, that is when the magic started to happen. I'm not saying
it's when, like I said at the beginning of this thing, that little bit of chaos that I talked about, I enjoy personally. That little bit of a shifting,
shove.
This shove is what really brings out the. It really helps that cream rise to the top, if you will. This really makes that shift and really brings out a lot of the best in people, because it changes up the normal. Okay, it really gets people thinking of it. It's kind of that fight or flight. They're either going to shift into the best version of themselves and figure out a way to work through the situation that's going on.
And that's where innovation happens. That's
where things change for the better.
Yes. And that's if you've got a lot of entrepreneurs who are working towards the same type of goal, right? Elevation of the industry, helping their fellow human being out. This is where these types of situations allow for huge amounts of innovation and positive shift and change through. I mean, it's like most struggles, right? We got to go through some muck to get to the other side, to the best version of ourselves. Taking the opportunity to look at these chaotic times as an opportunity for you to spend the time developing the skill sets that you might need to, okay? Focusing in on staying calm, focusing in on asking for clear and concise help from the resources that you have. And if you identify that, hey, I might need a couple, I might need different resources. I might need some more resources because what I've already gone through is not getting me the results I need.
Not helping me out,
okay, so where might you look for those? This gets you curious. It gets you into a state of, how do I work through this? What are my steps? And it allows you to separate what you're doing from the stress of the things you cannot control, okay, that is going on around you. This allows you to stay present and getting movement. Okay, you're getting productive. I can't say the word tonight. Okay, it's increasing your productivity because you are staying productive. You're staying focused on continually making the steps that you need to in your business. Now, does this mean that if you have a list of things that you typically get done, and because of kids being home or just the dynamic changing, that you're a failure because you don't blow through your list? Absolutely not. No. This is where you need to identify what are the ones that are going to be most effective for you right now.
Yes.
Focus on those very simple things, break them down if they're not simple in your mind, so you stay out of overwhelm, and start taking action on those things. And like Tim said, believe that you are going to get through this.
Yes.
Because if you continually take consistent behavior, action, okay, if you're behaving in a way of a leader and an entrepreneur who is actively going towards a very specific goal, you will succeed. Okay. Because you're taking action. You're doing the things you need to do. Okay.
These are those times where people get curious. And when people get curious, that's when things change. And that is when the most exciting times happen.
Yes.
So get curious and use these 4 steps that we shared with you tonight to really help you move through that curiosity state and reach out to the sources you need. And like Becky said a minute ago, we're going to drop a link for a blog.
It's a great read.
Yes, it really is a great read. Okay, it's from a mentor of ours that really we learned these steps from and can really help you as well. So if you want to check that blog out, we'll drop that link in there.
Yeah, so grab it after the live.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys, we appreciate you so much for being on. Appreciate all the viewers that have been hanging out watching us. Sue, so much thank you so much. I'm talking backwards now, man. I really got shook up yesterday.
So much thanks.
So much thanks. I got shook up yesterday. Thank you so much for your comments. We appreciate you guys. If you got value, go ahead and share this, okay? Because again, sharing the love, sharing the knowledge, helping other people get the resources and tools they need so they can stay on top of the goals that they've had this year. Okay. A little slight detour, a little bit of a shift in things that we do, but please go ahead and share that. We appreciate you spending some time with us tonight.
We do. You guys be curious, be bold, take action, and remember that it's choice, not chance, that shapes your life.
Take care, you guys.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.